McGovern, a retired former CIA analyst, putting on your analyst hat. You're saying that time's running out for Israel in their current posture towards the world. And let me guess, does that tie into this whole Arab Spring situation?
Well, it does very much, Alex. First off, when you look at Egypt, Egypt had been co-opted by promises from our country, from our tax dollars, half of what we give Israel every year. Now, we give Israel $3 billion, so Mubarak was getting $1.5 billion every year, if my math is correct. Okay. Now, with that money, he was a dependent ally of the Arabs? No way. Of Israel. Israel had no reason to fear anything untoward happening on its southern border. And now they've got 70-plus million Egyptians who care about things like the oppression of their fellow Arabs and specifically the Palestinians. They really care about that. And is the southern border as safe as it was with Mubarak? Under no circumstances is it. Take to the north. Look at Turkey. Well, because they killed 8 Turkish citizens during the attack on the flotilla last year, the Turks are in high dudgeon, as they should be. And their prime minister threatened to travel to Gaza later this month, and I'm not sure he will, but they are in a very bad relationship with Israel now, and they used to be very close. Greece, by the way, is a poor substitute in terms of Israel's strategic interests. Now, in addition to all that, they have a very insidious, very, very, very dangerous new tactic being employed by the Palestinians. It's called nonviolent civil disobedience, okay? We know it. It wasn't invented here. Gandhi pretty much furthered it, but Martin Luther King Jr. perfected it. That's what they're doing all around the border areas. When the anniversary of the 1948 displacement of over 700,000 Palestinians to make way for the Jewish people coming in 1948, when the anniversary of that came this year, around all the borders of Israel, so we're talking not only Lebanon, we're talking Syria, we're talking Jordan, we're talking Egypt. Along all those borders, there were the kinds of nonviolent demonstrations in which some people crossed over, the ones from Syria you already mentioned, and they got shot down a couple of days later when they were still around. So Israel's facing a situation now where they're going to have to compromise, where they're going to have to recognize that Palestinians have rights too, that they're not able to keep them in a perpetual state of servitude, and unless they do that, they will be more and more ostracized from the rest of the world, this divestment and so forth.
Well, Ray, we're almost out of time. Clearly, the West was involved finagling, I guess, trying to control the revolution in Egypt. Now Egypt has even expanded some of its crackdowns. Where do you see that going, and what hand did the U.S. government have, or the State Department, just briefly, in what went on in Egypt?
Well, we watched very closely, and of course, when Mubarak left the scene, then our support for him left the scene. It was really pretty cynical. Now we have very few assets there. We do have long-standing ties with their intelligence service and their army, but whether those will be effective these days is anybody's guess. It'll take a period of turmoil, but when the election comes, I think it's next month, is it not? September, yes. We'll know a lot more then.
All right, Ray McGovern, thank you so much for speaking with us today. Look forward to talking to you in the future.
Most welcome, Alex.
Ask yourselves, what are you doing in this time of great challenge? What are you doing to unlock minds?